Hey, have you got less than £10,000 but you want to get into property? Well, this is the video for you. I'm going to tell you something. Don't buy houses, don't do BRR, and don't do flips. The brutal truth that no one's telling you. Trying to save for a deposit right now, it's a trap. The banks don't rate you, the market doesn't wait for you. There's a strategy that is working right now, and it's how I've helped people to quit their jobs and build real cash flow in under 12 months. So who am I? My name's Luigi Newton. I'm the founder of LN Capital. I went from working full-time in a call center to now owning over 30 properties. Well, it's 31 properties is what I own. And today I mentor people just like you, guys that are working 9 to 5, they're stuck in traffic, they're feeling like shit. I was there. That was me. I hated my job. I know what it's like, guys, and I'm here to help you. So this video is for you. If you're stuck in a job that you hate, or you just don't have the clarity and you're not sure how to get into property, this is the video for you. I'm going to show you how to build and how to start, scale and grow a profitable property business if you're starting out with less than £10,000. Let's talk facts. Right now, the UK is facing a housing crisis. There's over 104,000 households that are currently in temporary accommodation. The councils, they spend around £1.74 billion last year on emergency housing. And unfortunately, that number is only going up. Councils are desperate for properties. They are paying very well for people that can provide those properties. This is the opportunity that most people are missing right now. You can build a business that not only is very profitable for you, but it also helps a lot of people. You don't need to own the property because that's where the rent-to-rent side comes in. So the model is called rent-to-rent temporary accommodation. So here's how it works. You rent a property legally with the landlord's consent. You set it up to meet the safety and housing standards. Then you give it to the council. They then pay you a guaranteed rent every single month. You don't have to worry about paying a mortgage. You just have to pay the rent to the landlord. There's no huge deposits. You're not gonna have to put down a 10 or 20, 25% deposit like you would when you're buying a property. There's no waiting around, so it's much quicker. With less than £10,000, you could build a rent-to-rent temporary accommodation portfolio with over 10 properties. I've got students in my community that have done this exact thing. So Michael Lapong, he joined the High Performance Academy. He got trained by myself and my business partner, Sean Davis. Now he's got over 12 rent-to-rent temporary accommodation properties, and he's earning over £7,000 profit per month. So once he's paid all the rents, any maintenance costs, he's left with over £7,000 profit, net profit, and he's really scaling up fast. The craziest thing is, guys, he did that in less than 3 months. I know that does sound like too good to be true. It sounds like it could be a scam, but guys, this is some real stuff. It's just a regular guy, made it happen, was hungry, put in the work. Another crazy thing is he did it from working full time. He's still actually working full time right now, which is insane. I said to him, like, Michael, why are you still working your 9 to 5 job? He's basically doing like this qualification thing within his job that he's working at. So he's actually a surveyor. He's getting qualified and everything whilst he's running this large business. And I'm thinking, man, he's got a massive work ethic. He smashed it, but he's got a great character. He works very hard. He's very obsessed with business. Naturally, it has worked very, very well for him. There's a load of other people as well that this model really has worked extremely well for. We've got multiple students that are now earning over £10,000 profit per month using this exact strategy. Guys, this strategy, the key to success with it is being educated. So one thing I would say is find someone that's doing this strategy and learn from them. Now, yes, you can join our training and mentorship program, but if you don't, then find someone else that's doing this strategy at a very high level and literally pick their brain, be around them and soak up as much information as you can from them. Because right now, guys, this is a sweet spot in property. Temporary accommodation, emergency accommodation, you can do all of this without even having to buy the properties. Now me, I do buy the properties and then I lease them to social housing providers, but that's not the only way you can do it. You can literally do the rent to rent, and that works very well. Let me give you some real results here as well. So another one of our students is called Ed Hughes. Now Ed Hughes was a full-time police officer. He was working 40 hours a week and he wanted to spend more time with his little man. He basically joined the High Performance Academy, learned, listened, implemented, and now he's making over £15,000 net profit per month, and he's got over 35 rent-to-rent temporary accommodation deals. We've also got Julia Babbage. she was a mom with, not much money to her name at all. She had like 5K, and now she runs a 6-figure temporary accommodation business in London and surrounding areas. These aren't just lucky cases. These are people just like you. They followed the strategy, they took action, and they just made it happen. Now, mistakes to avoid. The biggest mistake that I see is people trying to figure it all out alone and not be around the right people, because if you were trying to do this strategy, go direct with the council, take properties from landlords, give them to the council, there's a lot of details to it. One thing I would say is, guys, is really study. You need to follow my business partner Sean. He's got a really good breakdown video called Temporary Accommodation A to Z. Go and watch that. Obviously, reach out to us as well. We're happy to help. And if you're stuck between like buying properties, rent to rent, lease options, what's going to happen is, guys, you're going to end up going nowhere, because clarity beats confusion. So what that means is, you can start with rent to rent, build up your income, then go and buy assets from a place of power. Because what that will mean is, guys, is that if you're making, say, 10 grand a month from your rent to rent temporary accommodation portfolio, in a couple months, you've got 30 grand. 3 months, you've got 30K. You can use that as a deposit. £10,000 right now is not enough to buy a property. Now, I don't want you to think that I'm not an advocate on buying properties. Ownership is very important, and it's something that you should be looking to do. Timing is very important. If I look back when I started out in property, if I didn't have investors from very early on that were backing me, I literally would have been wiped out. I'll be honest with you, I would have been wiped out of the game. There's been so many times in my early years where I bit off more than I could chew. For example, I bought a property and I thought the renovation cost was going to be like 20-30 grand. It ended up being like 45, and this was one of my very early deals. That nearly wiped me out. I nearly went broke. Luckily, I was on YouTube and I had attracted a lot of investors from YouTube, even though I only owned 2 or 3 houses. So that saved me. But what I want to say is, if I was starting again from scratch, I'd go with a tried, proven and tested model that works, and it's not going to put you under financial strain the same way that buying properties and doing BRR will. I hope this makes sense, guys, but all I'm really trying to say is this works. Rent to rent temporary accom works. If you was my little brother, I'd want you to do something that works. I'd want to recommend something that definitely is going to work for you, as long as you put in the work, you put in the graft, you study, you be around the right people. I wouldn't advise my little brother to go through all the stress and shit that I went through. It's kind of like a boxer. They've been through shit. They've had so many fights and it stressed them out. It's gave them gray hairs. Trust me, guys, my beard would be fully just gray if I didn't dye it. Because of the amount of stress I've been through from buying all these properties and doing all these renovations, I wouldn't advise my son to do it. Okay, I don't have a son, but it's kind of like, have you ever seen that clip with Chris Eubank and Chris Eubank Jr. where he's telling his son that, no, I don't want you to do boxing. Don't do it. And the son's like, hey, I want to do it. I want to be like you, Dad. And then he ends up doing it and he becomes world champ. But anyway, I'm going off topic. What I'm trying to say is, if I had a son or a little brother, I would be saying to him, I don't want him to go through the same stress that I went through. So I'd recommend they do this. Now, as I said, we've got so many students that are killing it doing this strategy. People are really sleeping on this strategy. And I feel like I need to make some noise about this strategy. I didn't used to rate rent to rent. I used to think rent to rent was a load of BS. I've even got videos from like 5 years ago where I'm kind of mocking rent to rent people this sly way. But now I rate it. And I think it's because I became very, very close friends with Sean Davis, and I was able to see all of his properties, his portfolio, the way he does business, see how much money he was making. He's smashing it. He really is. When you're around that, you're like, oh, okay, it works. And then obviously I've really gone in depth learning about the strategy. Me and Sean have ended up helping tons of people to do it. So people are closing deals within our community every single week. They're putting in messages, just closed my 5th deal, just closed my 10th deal, telling us the profit per month. We are very transparent about the profit. So a typical rent to rent temporary accommodation deal, you should be looking to make over £400 net profit per month. Some deals over £1,000. But we say to people, if it makes over £400 per month, do the deal, because it's very, very consistent. Now, the strategy, if it doesn't make sense to you already, you're renting a property from a landlord, you're getting it signed off with the council, you're giving it to the council, they're giving you a guaranteed rent, and they either do it on an AST basis or as a nightly rate. Okay, so there's 2 different ways they do it. Ultimately, you'll make profit per month. So you make a top slice per month. So you pay the landlord, you pay any other outgoings, and then you make a chunk of profit on top every month. You get 3 of them, 4 of them, 10 of them, 20 of them deals, and now you're on some serious big bucks. If you're serious about this, you're tired of kind of guessing your way through YouTube, then what I'd recommend you do is reach out to us, see how we can help you. And if you want more information, obviously you can message me on Instagram. Just message me the word mentor. There's no pressure though. All I want is to help people. The thing with me is that I didn't start a program until I had over 20 properties. A lot of people, they get straight into property and then they start a program. You end up learning from someone that doesn't have enough experience themselves. Be careful of that, guys. Ultimately, I'd say get started. Don't wait another year. Don't wait until you've saved 50 grand. Start with what you've got right now. Use the right strategy, get the right guidance, and property will change your life. But you have to play it smart. So if you want to talk with me and my team about how we can help you with your property journey, you want mentorship, you want me and Sean Davis, Michael Apong and Ed all to be your mentors, then click on the link in the description of this video. We're here for you. I will personally be doing weekly mentorship sessions directly with you to help you overcome any obstacle that you're coming across. But remember guys, subscribe to this channel, like the video, share it, comment, do it all guys, and I'll see you next week.